All right, this week we're going to bring you another popular missing person to our Vanished series, and we are going to talk Jimmy Hoffa. All right, before we do that, I just wanted to state I'm your host, Tim Sahlberg. If you like my content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. If for any reason my content is not up to your standards, leave a comment. Let us know how we can improve, as we are a small community and we want to continue to build this community. So let's jump back into Jimmy Hoffa. I'm just going to give you some high-level overview. First and foremost, people believe that Jimmy Hoffa was the main reason for the modern-day union movement, right? And a lot of people look at him as like the father of the labor unions, right? And he had a lot of success in that. He was president of the Teamsters and, essentially really built that organization into a powerhouse, right? Now, somewhere along the lines, he got tied in with some not so favorable people, aka the mob, got tied up with the government a little bit, got himself into trouble, spent some time in jail, came back out, wanted to take back over his union, was successful in doing that. And then one day in 1975, he went to go meet some mob bosses, and it just didn't work out well. Now, that being said, we don't know what happened. We don't even know if he met those bosses. So what I'm going to do right now, because his story could last 4 hours plus long. There's so many movies about Jimmy Hoffa. They're all very interesting. Most of them have different takes. There's a lot of books about him. There's a lot of folklore around him. And I have 8 to 12 minutes to deliver this to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the timelines because I think the timelines are important. Then I'm going to give you my opinion, and then we'll leave you with some final thoughts and then get you on your way. So this is from the Associated Press, right? Just wanted to make sure that we get that out there. usnews.com. Here's a chronological look at the events in the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. July 30th, 1975, Hoffa leaves his Lake Orion home about 1 p.m. and makes a stop to visit a friend in Pontiac. He arrives around 2 p.m. at the Makis Red Fox restaurant in Oakland County's Bloomfield Township to meet reputed Detroit mob enforcer Tony Jack, an alleged New Jersey mob figure, Tony Pro. Hoffa calls his wife Josephine about 2:15 p.m. from a payphone and tells her that no one showed up for this meeting. The 62-year-old Hoffa is never seen or heard from again. August 8, 1975, the FBI get a search warrant for Hoffa's car, which was found in the restaurant parking lot. They find fingerprints of family friend Charles Chuckley O'Brien on a 7-Up bottle under the right front seat. September 2nd, 1975, a grand jury convenes in Detroit to investigate the Hoffa disappearance. Now, the next 10 years, 1975 to 1985, more than 200 FBI agents are assigned to the case in New Jersey, Detroit, and at least 4 other cities. During the period, more than 70 volumes of files are compiled containing more than 16,000 pages. 6 suspects in the disappearance, including both the Tonys, are convicted on unrelated charges. In 1982, self-described mafia murderer Charles Allen, who served prison time with Hoffa and participated in the Federal Witness Protection Program, tells a U.S. Senate committee that Hoffa was killed at Tony's orders. Hoffa's body was ground up in little pieces and shipped to Florida and thrown into a swamp. 1982, Hoffa is declared legally dead. 1989, self-described hitman Donald Tony the Greek Francos claims Hoffa is buried under Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The FBI finds no evidence to support the claim. Fast forward to June 2001, the head of the FBI's organized crime unit say in a court document that he believes a decision whether to prosecute anyone could be made in the next 2 years. March 2002, the FBI says it will refer the case to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office for possible state charges. John Bell, special agent in charge of the FBI's Detroit Bureau, says the federal case was stymied because of the length of time since Hoffa's disappearance. August 29, 2002, Oakland County prosecutor says new DNA evidence in Hoffa's disappearance is insufficient to bring criminal charges. May 2004, Bloomfield Township police rip up the floorboards from a Detroit house where one-time Hoffa ally Frank Sheeran claims to have killed him. The FBI crime lab would ultimately conclude that the blood found on the floorboards was not Hoffa's. April 2006, New Jersey mob hitman Richard the Iceman Kalinsky, who died in March, claims that he killed Hoffa and put his body in a car that was sold as scrap metal. In Kalinsky's book, The Iceman Confessions of a Mafia Contract Killer, contends he received $40,000 for the slayings. May 17, 2006, the FBI begins searching a horse farm in Oakland County, Milford Township, northwest of Detroit, for Hoffa's remains, but ends the search after finding nothing. June 17, 2013, the FBI sees enough merit in a reputed mafia captain's tip to once again break out the digging equipment to search for Hoffa's remains in an Oakland Township field about 25 miles north of Detroit. No remains of Hoffa are found. November 19, 2021, FBI says it's obtained a search warrant to conduct a site survey underneath the Pulaski Skyway in New Jersey in an effort to find Hoffa's body. The FBI says it's found no evidence of Hoffa during a search of land under the New Jersey Bridge. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of pictures that we could put up there to just kind of get through the timeline and kind of give you a little bit of background of what that timeline looks like. But again, there's a lot of stuff going on with Hoffa, right? So like we stated before, you know, Hoffa was kind of known as the union labor leader amongst all the unions. He was able to grow the Teamsters to just this powerhouse, and he got in bed with the mob, essentially. We don't know the details. We do hear a lot through movies and, you know, through pop culture and things like that, where a lot of money went missing, right, in the whole scheme that he was taking retirement money and funding things like Las Vegas Strip and just a lot of business ventures for the mob, right? So this was basically an open bank. Now, there's definitely some evidence that points to this, no question, and there's definitely a lot of money that's been misplaced / aka missing, and Hoffa had a lot to do with that. No questions on those things. To go into detail here would mean that we would be talking for the next couple of hours. So we're just going to assume that the folklore is all true for that, okay? A couple of things that stuck out to me. One, so he's going to meet some folks at a restaurant, and he gets there and nobody shows up, right? So when nobody shows up, so Jimmy Hoffa is known for being punctual, right? Anytime that you read a book or you watch a movie, it's going to highlight that. Now, whether or not that was true, I don't know. I wasn't obviously around at that time. I didn't know Jimmy Hoffa personally, but we can assume that that's true as well because a lot of people tend to hit it. Now, saying that, I always caution that just because a lot of people say it doesn't mean that it's true. The other thing is you don't typically find it on a police report. For me, anytime we're looking at cases or cold cases, it's only fact if it's put into that police report because then it's considered evidence. So moving forward, Jimmy Hoffa sits there for 15 minutes. No one shows up, decides to go call his wife. Now we know his longtime friend is also in the car, assuming that he's going to be the driver. So how often did Jimmy Hoffa go into the restaurant? Did anybody at the restaurant even see him at the restaurant? And did he make the phone call from the restaurant? Keep in mind, this is back in the 70s when they didn't have caller ID. Maybe he called from somewhere else. We don't know that. And that is what's going to leave me into my opinion of basically what happened here. I think that Jimmy Hoffa made a lot of people upset, not only the mob. He made a lot of government people upset, which then in turn is going to make your normal people upset, right? And so that puts a hit on his back. Now, a couple other things that we don't ever hear or see in the movies. Think of the retirement fund that you built off the hardworking people, right, that are in your union, that are expecting to retire and have a pension, and to find out that you've been using that as your own personal piggy bank. Whether it's rumor or whether it's true, that happened. And I will tell you, the thing that is more dangerous than the government, more dangerous than the mob, more dangerous than hitmen, and all of that stuff, right? More dangerous than even any of the things that he would have even experienced in jail is when you take a hard-working person that's worked their entire life towards something and that have believed in something, and you just snatch it away for your own personal growth. Keep in mind, right, from a union perspective, the narrative is sign up for a union because we'll protect your rights, right? Think about that. That's how he got people to sign up. They sign up, and then he takes the money, right? The money kind of disappears. So where would that leave you if you knew that you put in all of this hard work, you did everything you were supposed to do, you fought the good fight, you were on the front lines, you really took it to the companies, and then you found out that your money might be gone, might be used with the mafia. So why don't we ever hear that angle of like the average Joe like myself that gets up, wakes up, goes to work every single day, right? Planning for retirement, working on my own personal retirement. And all of a sudden I have nothing. I wake up and it's all gone. Think of how I would feel. Now times that by 1,000 people and tell me that there's not multiple capable people that would have been on the hunt for Jimmy Hoffa and not agreeing with the way that he was running the business and the way that he was managing all of those folks in that union. Put that in your thoughts and tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below and tell me, do you believe what you're seeing in these movies? Do you believe what you're hearing in these stories? Or could it be just as simple as he pissed off essentially the average working person and one of those people decided to take justice into their own hands? That could explain a lot. So I'm going to leave you with that for this week. I do appreciate you folks tuning in. Again, there's a lot of stuff to pack into that story. It's hard to try to do it under 12 minutes. Now, if I do get a lot of hits on this and a lot of comments, what I've told myself is I'll do a live stream where we've got, essentially infinite time that we can talk about Hoffa. We can pull up all the facts together and we can talk through it. It'd be a lot of fun for sure. If that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. I will get it set up. And as long as we have 10 to 15 people or more that are willing to join a live stream, I'll definitely dedicate a Friday night or a Saturday or a Sunday, an hour, 2 hours, however long it's going to take so we can discuss that and really get those creative true crime juices going. And again, the reason why I go after Vanish is because I think we're doing good for the community, especially on the cold cases. In this particular case for Jimmy Hoffa, it's not helping anything. So this one was really a passion one for me, and hopefully it'll get you folks thinking about some of the comments you want to leave down below. And again, if you like my content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it with your friends, right? We want to grow the community. We want to grow it right. I want to get to know my community, and we're growing at a pretty decent pace. So, all right, with all of that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. I'm your host, Tim Solberg, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.